welcome to number one tip on how to reduce worry. So the first tip is about increasing neurotransmitters. Okay, so if you want to stop worrying or stressing out, okay, the best thing you can do by far is to increase the amount of neurotransmitters. Okay, so what are neurotransmitters? Okay, they're chemical messengers of the brain and the body as a whole. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at three main ones that will be responsible for boosting your mood or stabilizing you or giving you a high. Okay, so the three main neurotransmitters are endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin. Okay, and endorphins are released when you either exercise or you are in some kind of situation where you break a limb or something happens where you get some kind of physical damage but you don't notice. Okay, so you may be running, let's say, a 10K run and accidentally you fracture your patella on your knee, and you won't notice until you get home and you're like sitting at the couch and you're like, oh, my knee's hurting. So while you were running and you got some endorphins releasing, somehow you have managed to damage your patella, and so endorphins got released, and because what they do is they calm down the pain, they reduce the pain so that you can continue doing what you're doing. And then endorphins are really helpful when you want to reduce stress because stress feels painful. So if you can create endorphins, okay, then the feeling of stress or pain or kind of worry will get reduced. Okay, the second neurotransmitter that's really important is dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter, the chemical that's responsible for you wanting to eat a really delicious food, the chemical responsible for you wanting to make more money, the chemical for wanting sex, let's say, or let's say that there is some kind of vacation spot you want to go to because you've been there before and it's really good. So that's dopamine. It's the reward chemical. It also can help you kind of not only achieve something, but it can help you focus and organize you towards that goal. It orients you on the goal. Okay, and then dopamine, after that is serotonin. Serotonin is one of the biggest chemicals in the brain and the body as well. It's also produced in the gut in very high quantities. And based on research, it's about 90% of the whole serotonin is produced in the gut. And then it's responsible for your sleep functions, your sexual functions. It's responsible for helping you heal your wounds if you get hurt, for blood clotting. It's responsible for helping you sleep. It's responsible for managing your mood, okay, for balancing your mood swings or how you feel in the morning or during the day and so on. Serotonin is really important neurotransmitter, okay, and it also helps you to focus. So if you take a look at these three, if you can increase the amount of these three, then the worry will decrease. Okay, so there is a couple of ways you can do that. Number one, and the best way, is to exercise. Okay, and the other ways to increase dopamine and maybe even serotonin is to drink alcohol, go partying, gambling, take cocaine. I mean, all that stuff, it'll spike it up, but it's not good. So you want to stick to the best one, which is exercise. So what you got to do to increase the amount of neurotransmitters is you got to find some kind of workout program that you can do either at home or at the gym or outside in nature. Okay? Now it could be like just like what I use when I began using actually to gain some of the weight that I lost is I began using the P90X3 by Tony Horton from Beachbody. okay? And what it is, it's a half-hour program, workout program, 7 days a week, where you can do it 4 times, 5 times, how many times you want. But what it is, it's a high-intensity kind of aerobics plus some weightlifting mixed up into it, and a half-hour session. And you don't even have to do the full half hour. You can do 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's what I do. And so even if you do like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, okay, then that will be still okay. You can also go on the treadmill and run for like 3 minutes fast, and then walk for 2 minutes, and then repeat that for like 15 minutes, and you're good. You know, you're gonna get some high intensity training, okay? You can go outside, do that, or you can join some kind of group aerobics activity that they have at gyms for half an hour. You can be doing very, you know, different kinds of jumps, and maybe running and pushing the weight at the same time, but as a group. Okay, so find the one that you want. Okay, so that's tip number 1, to increase it. And then the second thing you want to do, is you want to start eating the right foods that have more, I would say chemicals. Well, for serotonin, it's tryptophan, okay, that helps to make serotonin in the body. But overall, there are some foods that will increase the production of serotonin, dopamine in your body. And their foods like berries, like blueberries are very good. So you've got foods which include berries. And then you've got like salmon, so fish. Salmon's really good. And then you've got nuts and seeds. Pumpkin seeds are very awesome. That's what I do. And then you've got like avocado. You can also have tofu. You can have turkey. You can have eggs. And you can have greens. I mean, there's a bunch of foods that you can eat, especially in the vegetables. Like the greens, I mean like collard greens, cauliflower, broccoli, maybe bok choy, maybe kale. You know, like those types also have a lot of vitamins in them and antioxidants, which are really important as well. And one more is the big one, and that's actually chocolate, and specifically it's dark chocolate. So dark chocolate. Okay, so you gotta eat those foods, or you gotta pick the ones you like and put them into your diet. Okay, and the last thing you want to do and understand is the pills that you may get from the doctors. They may help you, but they're not perfect. And the reason is they're not perfect is because they either stimulate certain production of neurotransmitters, or they have in themselves neurotransmitters in them that get released into your body because you take them in. The problem with that is every single person needs different amounts of neurotransmitters, so a different amount of dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, or maybe norepinephrine or so on in their brain chemistry, so that they feel good. Okay, and the only thing in the world that's capable of producing the right amount of neurotransmitters for your brain is exercise. That's it. Okay, it's the only thing. Nothing else in the world can do it, because your brain knows how much of each one it needs to make. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you start doing this, because it's the only thing gonna fix you. And you want to do the exercise in the morning before you go to work, not after the work, not in the evening, even though it also can be great, and I did both. But when you work out in the morning and you load, the key is to load. You want to load all of these guys here in the morning. So this way, when you go through the day, your chemicals will start to dip, but you're still gonna feel good because you increase the amount. Okay, guys. So that's it for tip number 1, and I'll see you in tip number 2. Take care.